Sports fans, back at it again for a new edition of the prolific, unscripted, uncensored podcast, On the Money podcast, to be exact. We are here live from the epicenter of Nostalgia Mania, an episode that I'm super excited for because not only is it Freebird rules, all hands
Freebirds,
on
baby.
deck.
Freebirds.
It is the long-awaited Super Bowl preview episode, and we are also less than 24 hours away from the NBA trade deadline. So we might get breaking news while we're live on the air, breaking all this stuff down. Nonetheless, it's the right place to be. It always seems like podcast night coincides with all the big events in sports, so that we're always able to tackle the news as quickly as possible. Like I said, it's all hands on deck.
We shine our light in the sky, and that's it.
All hands tonight, man.
To the left of me, none other
We
than
needed all
Mike
hands
D.
tonight, baby. A few days before the Super Bowl, NBA trade deadline. It's less than 24 hours away. I mean,
shout out to Supreme Ballers, Chiefs money line.
Chiefs
Here
money
we
line.
go. Here we
Who's
go.
that?
And then over
put
here, none other than Oscar O Money Muniz.
Oh, your brother put Chiefs money line.
I can't disagree.
Should I be able to see his name here, or maybe
Is it because of it's on the app? That's why I was gonna go on here, and then I was just
like
gonna
how
share
can you
the
see it and I
stream.
can't?
That's weird.
We're settling in right now. Oh, so far,
Maybe
Eric
it's
checked
because
in.
it's me.
Magoo checked in. Matt, Eric Lopez, shout out
What
to
up,
Supreme
Pop?
Ballers
I gotta
Society.
send that
bro?
invite to everybody again so that they could try to.
I'm going up against Eric and Supreme Ballers this week. It's getting down to crunch time.
Oh, he better get his shit together if he wants to get to the playoffs. I'm
The
sorry.
Ministry of Mid is, dare I say, above average with a 4-game winning streak right now, sitting at the 3 seed. That tie is
Damn,
helping
you
me
took
out.
it from me.
Yeah,
I went from the 3 seed to the 4 seed. There,
You're
I
the
think,
4,
right? Yeah.
and
I went
then
from 1
Mac
seed to
Miggs is
2
right there
seed
with you.
because
Shout out to Supreme
Terrell and that
Ballers, man.
stupid ass
Yes.
tie.
It is a competitive league right now. Right now, there's like 3 or 4 teams that have 5 wins, and those teams right there are trying to turn things around so they can get themselves into the Elite 8, which is we're doing the NCAA
What up, Rob?
brackets this year.
What
for
up,
the playoffs.
Burnham?
Burnham is checking in. Everybody's checking in and filing in as we get ready to break down the Super Bowl. Before we went live, I was saying how excited I was for this podcast because I have completely tuned out all the Super Bowl talk on TV. I don't know what the talking heads are talking about. I just know what I saw in the NFC and AFC championship game, what we've discussed, the little bit that we've discussed, and I'm excited to hear your perspectives on what we're getting on Sunday. Compare it to what we thought was going to happen
Auto
in
picks.
August.
Yeah, you can't auto pick in a draft, man.
What?
Who said that? What?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's
Who's auto
especially doing auto picks in a basketball league draft. Man, that shit can work out really crazy. Like you can end up with a lot of guys that
The
you
Blue
really
Jays will pay.
don't want.
Breaking news: Vladdy won arbitration. The Blue Jays have to pay him $19.94 million this season.
Nice.
Good for
Hey,
them. I love
keep
that
in.
for them. I love that for them.
Just keep spending money
Keep
on a team that is not going to get over the hump.
Listen,
Keep
man.
spending money on what? What are they? The 6th best? No, bullshit. Because they're like the 4th best in our division. They can't beat anybody.
I will say this: that the
Yeah.
app, the sleeper app, was glitching that day of draft
What on the
when we were
Supreme
picking.
Ballers?
Yeah, Supreme Ballers was glitching that day. I had to go out and go back in.
I don't know about that.
don't
Someone
really
auto
glitching.
picked their whole lineup, not naming anyone.
I don't.
Who was that? I forget already. You got to remember when we do this NBA fantasy league draft, it's in the heart of football
that
season.
Week
was
7,
that was
dog.
Miggs. That was the rain. Wait, no, Miggs didn't win the championship last year, did he?
Yeah, he won.
He
won
did,
the
right?
championship last year.
Yeah, he auto picked the whole
Yeah.
draft. He might have picked his first pick.
Rob says, I don't want either team to win, but I'd prefer the less evil of the two. I'd like San Fran to win, but I see the Chiefs winning again.
Okay. All right.
At this point, I think it's super difficult to just bet against Mahomes. That's how I feel about it all.
Well, how long have we been doing that for? Betting against Mahomes?
All this year, pretty much, most of the year for me. I mean, I like
for a couple years on this
Super
podcast.
Bowl square off photo, courtesy I found on the internet. Somebody must have made it with Madden 24.
Working on our visuals, folks. Working on our visuals.
We're giving you everything.
Yeah, it's like reading a book to somebody, except we're using pictures instead of reading. What were you saying? What what are your thoughts? So you haven't been here for a bit, so
yeah, it's been a while.
Elaborate.
I've checked out, man. As soon as fantasy ended, I was checked out, bro. I needed to get away from social media. I've even downloaded phone games, so I don't even go on the socials like that.
We got an Xbox. So I was on MLB The Show. Mad as hell.
Yeah, I'm about to get Madden probably.
Nice.
But as far as what I feel about the Super Bowl, man, I don't know how to feel. I think at this point it's really difficult to bet against Mahomes.
I can understand why you didn't want to pay attention to fantasy football. Integrity, people. Integrity.
I mean, as the commissioner, it was a long, strenuous year. So
and the shit is, I'm still dealing with it. Like I'm still dealing with shit.
He's still stressing.
It's now February 7th, and I'm still dealing with shit. But
I checked out to an extent. I was focusing more on basketball myself. Like I tuned back in time for the weekend for the slated games. I used the bye week for the NFL to just not focus on football, not watch anything related to that, so that I could approach the topic from a fresh perspective, have some time to think about what I'm about to watch, think about what we're about to break down, and just sort of take it in, because I feel like from my vantage point, like I want to hear what you guys think as far as the game, but I feel like we're going to be witnessing a milestone in time.
Yo, he's going ham on the Niners right now.
I think that's what it's going to be. I think we're going to witness.
How many times we're going to see Niners choke before we know what's up?
Oh,
I mean, it depends what.
Yo, Giants fans, boy.
Hey, man, a lot of us got a lot to say sometimes, and sometimes we shouldn't say some of the things we be saying, but that's neither here nor there.
So I mean,
you know what I mean?
Anyway. All you gotta do is tune in to Giants 365.
Yo, that
and you're just
those people.
Are you upset that the news came out today that the Giants will not tag?
Nope.
Every post
that everybody posted on the 365 page about that Daniel Jones news, I went and loved it. Loved it all. Loved it all. I mean, what do people expect, bro? Seriously, like, what do people expect the Giants to do at this point? Like, we're not taking any one of these trash ass quarterbacks that's coming out in this year's draft, and regardless of whether Daniel Jones plays this year or not, we owe that man $64 million.
Oh, your dad making a bold prediction.
What do you say?
Not only are the Chiefs going to win, but Pacheco's getting MVP. Book it.
Yo, I've been thinking about that for the last 3 days. Not gonna lie.
I got money. Listen,
I got money.
I got a whole lot of money. I got a whole lot of money.
Bet gets you $145 right now
for him
for Super Bowl MVP. Yeah. $5 gets you $145 right now. So
Interesting. You know what? That's the one thing
I'm gonna bet Pacheco MVP, Pacheco anytime touchdown.
Bro, Patrick Mahomes is gonna get the MVP.
I don't think so. Well, let me not say that, because the award goes to a quarterback every year regardless.
Remember that year when that running back they had scored the
two
touchdowns?
Purdy 3 turnovers.
And they
are coming after Niners today.
Who's the running back? He got
Jared McKinnon?
Daryl.
Oh, Derek McKinnon. No. Damian Williams.
Yeah.
He had an unbelievable fourth quarter
and didn't
pretty much solidify their victory and didn't get it.
Pacheco's going to need more than one
touchdown.
touchdown.
Pat Mahomes did that game was insane, though. Like, we can't argue that. I mean,
but for that game, though,
like
he wasn't insane in that game.
He was.
Bro, we were Jimmy Garoppolo, Hail Mary to Emmanuel Sanders.
Overdo that shit.
Overthrow from them winning the Super Bowl.
I mean, and that's the beauty of Super Bowl weekend is we think about all the what ifs with a lot of teams and potential matchups that we could have gotten. Like sometimes it comes down to one play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like from changing the entire landscape of what could have been.
Yeah, and that play can come early in the first quarter sometimes. That play can come early in the fourth quarter. But I think from the fan in me wants to see this game to go over 52 points.
No.
Yeah.
I need this to be a combined 40 I can win my football pool.
No, fuck that.
I think this is going to be an under.
And I got my blocks from work already.
What are we doing? Unders on the Super Bowl?
I think this is going to be.
Why are you speaking that shit into existence?
Look at these two defenses, bro. This Super Bowl is.
I need this score to be.
It's just a fan in me, really. And fuck these defenses. 49. San Francisco's been getting torched. Say not. They've been getting torched.
23-17. That's what I need the score to be.
23-17.
Chiefs. So I can win $168 off of the football pool. I also need, at one point in this game, for the score to end in 3-3. Either
You're
13-3, 23-3. I don't care.
You're gonna
That
look
way
me
I
in
can
the
win
face.
another $100.
You're gonna look me in the face and say Jared Goff can put up 34 points on that San Francisco team and Mahomes can't? That's insane, dude. To me, that's insane.
You're right, but I need it for my own personal reasons.
No, I get that. But this guy's betting the under.
Do you have
I don't see that.
I'm not saying I'm actually betting the under. I'm saying I would take the like. I'm not taking the over in this football game. This has the classic makings of a game that after the first quarter the score is 3-0, and going into
let it be 3-3, dog.
10-7.
Let it be 3-3.
Like,
yeah, let me win 100, dog.
Dude,
wait, did you play? You made the blocks already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I have respect for the Kansas City Chiefs defense because without
Should've
that
told you, I
defense,
forgot all about it.
I don't think that the Chiefs would have gotten to this point where they're at right now. Chiefs money line, I think, is my favorite play.
Mahomes is the
Chiefs
new
money line,
Brady.
baby.
Spoiler alert: I'm picking the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, and this will be the third Super Bowl for Kansas City, the third Super Bowl for Patrick Mahomes, and the Super Bowl win that puts this football team
As
in
a dynasty.
conversation that they were in long before they should have been, but now they're there. You know, like I feel like this is the conversation that puts.
Can I get
them
a parlay on an anytime appearance on the podcast? That's Rick.
We got to get Rick on this podcast. We have plenty of chairs here. We got to get his thoughts on.
I was
going
gonna move the podcast today to the other room on the circle table.
The round table.
Yeah, I was gonna do it that, but I didn't have the
We can pull the
time.
domino table in for the round table discussion and go real Puerto Rican on them. Just pull the domino table in, have the chairs around it, set up the camera.
Thumbtack the camera facing down on us.
Yeah, we can do that setup. We definitely got to get Rick on the pod. Rick thinks that Brock Purdy is just going to shit his pants. That's another reality of a situation that we're not discussing. A really good Kansas City defense against the Brock Purdy that, I mean, has he been really good? I think he's been good enough in certain instances, but in their first playoff matchup, he wasn't really that good. And up against Detroit just kept giving them more and more possessions and opportunities to be able to be like, here, we don't know how to close this game out. We're going to go for it. We're giving you the rock right back.
Yeah, I feel bad for Detroit and Dan Campbell and the rap they've been getting for that game, honestly.
He did what he did. I get it.
Been doing that all year, man.
It's the playoffs. You got to take the points, bro.
I don't blame him.
What up, Drew?
I don't blame him for being aggressive. The league has been shifting into a new age, man. And
Rick said he's down. He'll even do an all-season fill-in. He said I'm down to talk NBA on the podcast.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Andrew says fuck the Knicks.
We'll be talking a lot.
Cool, I love you too, bro.
Andrew officially checked in with his thoughts and feelings on the New York Knicks, who are currently off tonight. But yeah, man. Like, and another thing that we haven't brought up yet is we all credit Shanahan for being this wizard of a coach. In these moments, he tends to sort of overthink certain
28-3.
He tends to shrink. And Andy
all
Reid,
you had to do, buddy.
He's 0-3 in the Super Bowl.
All you had to do was run the ball on third down. You kick a field goal. You're up by 11, and Tom Brady never does the whole 28-3 bid. The Falcons win a championship.
Andy Reid is just
that's all he had to do
right now. Like,
I'm going to throw the ball. It's just like Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's dumbass a couple years ago. You're at the 1-yard line. You have the most dominating running back of his prime, and you throw the ball with Russell Wilson.
Yeah. I'm not saying the Chiefs are going to clobber the 49ers. I'm saying that this is a big moment, not just for Purdy, not just for Shanahan, not just for that defense. Like, for all of them together, like, they need to come out there and they need to ball.
Well, it's like you said. If he loses this, he's 0-2 in the Super Bowl as a head coach. He'll be 0-3 altogether as a coach, period, because of being the OC for the Falcons. And not to mention his struggles in the NFC Championship game against Philly. Like, he'll be...
49ers have to cash in for touchdowns on their drives. You can't settle for 3. That's something that I think Rick just brought that up.
I mean, the same can be said for Kansas City, too.
You got to cash in. It's going to be...
The same. That I think everything, like, anything we spiel in a negative light about either team literally can be said about the other team in this matchup, man.
Correct.
Like, things literally have to go perfect for both teams in order for things to kind of go their way, in a sense, which it's the NFL. We're not going to get a perfect game, and it's the Super Bowl. So, I mean, literally anything.
Right now, the Chiefs' defense is playing better than the Niners' defense.
And they are. They really are.
They have been. And I think they are the true X factor of this football game.
I could see a scenario almost where, like, where's Detroit and San Fran all over again.
If they shut down CMC in the run game,
That's big.
it's a lot of problems for Purdy.
But they have so many options, man. You're shutting down CMC, so what does that mean? You're letting the middle wide open to George Kittle, or making maybe one of the sides.
What up, Chris?
To have a big game.
Chiefs have only allowed 6 rushing touchdowns this year. So they've been doing a really good job against all running backs.
That's old Pittsburgh Steelers type numbers. Old Baltimore Ravens type numbers.
They know more or less what to do as far as we know that CMC isn't your average.
Well, we know how Andrew feels. Super Bowl's lame to him this year. It's 2 teams he doesn't like.
Andrew, are you going to the parade this year, dog?
He'll be there. He'll be there in the back.
He'll be there in the back. You tough guy.
It's gonna be a sea of red. There's gonna be a sea of red on Landis, and we'll see that one green jersey, and it'll be Drew.
You got no excuses.
It'll be Drew.
But yeah, and then a point to what Eric was saying, like not just the fact that we just have to accept that the Chiefs are who they are, we just have to embrace the fact that we're watching.
Does Andy Reid retire if he wins?
No, why would you?
What?
No.
Does Andy Reid retire if he wins?
No, he's coming right back with
the next one.
Young squad.
Does Travis Kelce screw the evil Warriors and retire?
Travis Kelce's another topic. Travis Kelce, that could possibly
happen. Is that why Jason Kelce hasn't verbally announced his retirement?
I think
because he's waiting for his brother, and that they're going to retire together.
I think that's a possibility.
That's a possibility, and I also think he hasn't said anything because he doesn't want to it's the Super Bowl and the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. He doesn't want to take that shine away from his brother neither.
Yeah, you still got a game.
You don't want to make it look like you're looking for attention, like you're Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? Like Aaron Rodgers would be the type of guy that would retire on Super Bowl day or something.
On Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, Super Bowl Sunday.
Andrew said that was a below the belt move.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers will retire.
I don't know, man. I really think that. I think Kelsey's retiring, which I'm going to be screwed now. I will not drop him off my dynasty though. I will hold on to him just in case he
comes back,
changes his mind, because Taylor Swift can break up from him and he can make his own diss track by joining Kansas City.
The Chiefs once again proved they don't need Travis Kelce to put up stellar numbers to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but he's done in the playoffs though.
I mean, yeah, when you have him in the playoffs, it's you feel good that
they need him to continue to do what he did to win.
I think that they've just been playing good team ball all across the board. Like the Chiefs have just been playing playoff football. You know what I mean?
Does MVS get another clutch catch that seals the game?
It's looking like that Joe Tooney guy, the Joe Tooney offensive lineman for the Kansas City. He might not play for KC this week.
I thought he was. I thought he was going to bear
Grant.
Jared
McKinnon limited practice today, so
okay,
that's spicy. As much as we're high on Pop, McKinnon gets his
plays,
hands,
bro.
He gets his hands, and he's.
But I mean, look at what we saw from Clyde Edwards-Helaire this year. We're talking about MVS. Like a couple of guys that we wrote off years ago came out, and Kansas City used them and maximized them.
They've been trying to use these guys all year, but the guys are actually coming through for Mahomes in Kansas City.
I really think, I could picture Reed retiring though.
I don't see it.
Bro, you have Mahomes, who is pretty much another Brady. This guy is the baby goat right now in his prime. Why would you walk away from
the league? Won't let him. The league's going to go out to him. Listen, you guys know you're in the midst of a dynasty right now.
He's in his 70s.
So what?
Is he?
I think.
Reed?
Or late 60s.
I think it's late 60s.
He's loving this shit right now, bro. He got rid of Bieniemy. He did it without Bieniemy. He did it without Tyreek Hill. To an extent, he did it without Travis Kelce.
Yep.
His
whole career, he was known for never wanting to run the ball, always throw the ball. Now he has Isaiah Pacheco, and he's changing his tone. He's switching his strategy.
You bring Kansas City their first Super Bowl trophy. You follow it up with another and potentially another on top of 6 AFC.
I think he should come back just so they can shut people up with Harbaugh going to the Chargers, and how the Chargers will still be the same old Chargers.
I don't know if they'll be the same old Chargers, but I want to see that matchup. I want to see Reed versus Harbaugh, Herbert versus Mahomes, and both these teams hitting on all cylinders.
Kansas City has unfinished business right now, even with them being in the Super Bowl right now. Like, we're in the midst of witnessing.
They will be the first team to go back-to-back. That's what worries me, because we haven't had a back-to-back since.
It's been a long time. Like, we're in the middle of something right here that's special. You know what I mean? However we feel about Kansas City, the problem is we had to a certain extent, we had no problem watching them win their first Super Bowl. Right. The minute they go to their second Super Bowl, they automatically become the villain. Mm-hmm. We love to tear.
That's any team.
We love to tear everything down. For years, we have talked about the downfall of the Kansas City Chiefs, and year after year, especially this season, when we said they were going to be a first-round exit, I had the Bills eliminating them. They found a way. They found a way to make it happen once again. They found a way to prove everybody wrong. And they are about to hoist another Lombardi trophy. This team is not about to go lose to Brock Purdy and them on Sunday. There's just no way. And it could be Pacheco. It could be Kelce. It could be whoever, as a team, I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes on Sunday. I've been doing it long enough all season long, and I have nothing to show for it.
I don't disagree.
I have nothing to show for it.
I really don't even have.
I look at it,
say to argue back with you. Like I don't.
I said everything's even on this team except for quarterback.
Yeah.
And for that reason and that reason only is why I'm going Kansas City, because how can I pick Brock Purdy over Pat Mahomes?
Yeah.
If you're doing that, you're a 49ers fan, which is expected, but
right.
I just can't do it. Like, you can't tell me right now Mr. Irrelevant's going to outplay Pat Mahomes.
I was a teenager for most of the Patriots dynasty. I wasn't nearly the sports fan I am now, so I didn't take that in for what it was at the time. I just saw that the Patriots were doing a lot of winning. Right now, at disgusting. This age, I'm able to watch what the Chiefs have been able to do. Before Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs were that fun-loving regular season team that would win 13 games and get their asses whooped in the first round all the time. That was what
Patrick
they were known.
Mahomes?
Before Patrick Mahomes,
they were trash before Patrick Mahomes.
Well, they were chokers.
Alex Smith made them 9 to 11 games and stuff like that a few seasons they were there. But
in '97, they lost to Denver. The Colts with Andrew Luck did that crazy thing that they did to them.
Bro, they lost 4 players in that game.
Mariota caught his own touchdown pass against them.
That's another game where they lost Travis Kelce.
Before Pat Mahomes.
And then for some odd reason, Reed didn't want to run Kareem Hunt, which made no sense.
Before Pat Mahomes, we talked about this team potentially being snake bitten. Right now, this is their window. This is their moment. This is their moment in the sun. We may not know whether or not it'll happen again for them. But Andy Reid has everything in front of him. There's nothing you got another 1 or 2 years left for him. Cool. Patrick Mahomes, sky's the limit as far as how long he's gonna play. But the fact is that we're in the midst of watching greatness right now. We're in the midst of watching this team that when we favored the Ravens, when we favored the Bills, they came out, they survived, they beat both those teams. They're back going up against a team that they beat a couple of years ago for a championship.
Andy's gonna coach till he's 80. Mahomes has another solid 8 years in him, solid. He's gonna slow down as far as his athleticism and his rushing ability goes, but I don't see that kid getting any worse. I think he only gets better, if you ask me.
We already have people acknowledging Andy Reid as the better coach over Belichick, So he's
the only thing Reid's not gonna be able to catch up with is the most games thing.
If they got unceremoniously ousted a couple of weeks ago, I would definitely entertain the Andy Reid retiring conversation. But in the midst of winning, the more winning they do, it's going to be harder for him to walk away from this shit, because they're on a trajectory right now that we may not see for a very, very long time.
And honestly, they have one of the best defensive coordinators in the whole league, and Steve Spagnuolo.
Spags is just reinventing himself right now with what he's doing with that young defense.
Alex said one of Alex's biggest things is, why didn't Spags get recognized for any head coaching jobs?
Because he's been down that road before, and he didn't do so well.
You don't think some of these guys are smart enough to avoid that shit by now, though?
They are, and that's what it is. It's
some of these guys know.
Some of these guys know their role, know their lane, and they play it very, very well, man. And they'll stay special team coach. And
this will be his.
It's like that. You just avoid the bullshit sometimes.
He's got a ring with. Has he got a ring with the Chiefs every year he's been with them?
I don't think every year.
He's been with them 19, right? So 2019 and 2021.
Right.
And he got the 2 with the Giants. This will be his 5th ring.
Yes. As a lead. I think he would lead all defensive coordinators in Super Bowl rings if he gets this.
Wow.
Yeah. The guy's amazing, bro. I love Spags. He did wonders for that Giants defense in those years with the Giants. Gave me some of my fondest memories as a Giants fan. So I love it. I love that guy.
And how do people think that the Chiefs survived this far when their offense was trash? It was because that defense was so freaking good.
Yeah.
Their defense was top notch this year.
Their second year in George Karlaftis from Penn State, hey, that kid's an animal. And rushing alongside somebody like Chris Jones, I mean, he's just been getting nastier and nastier every week.
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm not saying that the 49ers are going to get destroyed. I'm just saying that
I think it's going to be a good game. I think we're going to see a high-scoring game, man. I really do.
See, that's the part where I stray in another direction. I feel
Yeah,
like the
I really
defense
do.
is going to control this game because I don't think that we're going to see a stellar performance from Brock Purdy.
No, I think we're going to see very good defensive plays in this game, but I think we're going to see points be put on the board also. I think the defense is probably scored, honestly.
Really?
Prop bet.
Prop bet on the defense.
We should get some that flashes on the screen.
Prop bet.
Well, I mean, you know,
Like, Don't Be a Menace was like, message.
like if we're talking about prop bets, if we're talking about anytime touchdown,
I
I'm
think
going to
once
mention a name that you guys have heard me mention for months. His name is Rashee freaking Rice. Can we stop pretending this man doesn't exist? Because he's out there. He is the wide receiver.
When they
one
took
for the
that
Kansas City
touchdown away from
Chiefs.
him against Baltimore, I was sick.
Yeah,
That's sick.
It kind of hurt.
I had a 2-leg parlay
That
with
kinda
him
hurt.
and Zay Flowers, man.
And
I think once Purdy throws that first pick, he's seen ghost after that.
the Ghosts
I
are
don't
going to be
think
out
so.
there for him.
I don't
You think
so.
he has a good day?
I think he does throw an interception.
You don't think
but
he has a meltdown?
Yeah,
like
I
we're
don't think.
predicting?
Yeah, I don't think he unravels.
So you think that the 49ers
I think the
come
kid's
out
actually
and-
better than what I've been giving him credit for, if I'm being honest with you guys. I've been calling him assistant QB all year. I've been saying, Mr. Irrelevant, last pick of the draft.
Week one was funny.
and-
Steelers, 49ers, and a lot of us were anti-Brock Purdy. And he goes out there and lights up Pittsburgh's secondary while Alexis is standing here. He's like, you gotta be a playmaker to make stuff like that happen. That's not just a system, dog. I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all, dog.
Bro, at the end of the
That
day,
was a
though,
fun day.
That
bro.
was
if you put Brock Purdy on another team, is he doing that?
I don't know.
probably.
I don't know. Because I don't think he sucks. I just know that he has a lot to work with where he's at right now. Like a lot of quarterbacks
He has a
that work
lot.
in San Francisco.
No, he has a lot to work with. Definitely a lot to work with.
So I'm not either way.
But you gotta pick
like,
what team. I think you have to like.
Garoppolo
you
never
have to
had
drop
Christian
him on the right
McCaffrey.
team.
like at this
And when he
point,
did, he broke his foot.
I'm jumping the curb on this kid because at this point in time, Brock Purdy has played in a lot of meaningful games already. No matter what, he gets you there. Like he's in the mix. He's with the 49ers. Yes, he's a part of a good situation, but he also has done a good job to maximize that situation.
I think he's gonna have a bad Super Bowl.
I am with you on that. I'm just saying that at this
My
point in
dad says
time,
he'll throw 2 picks in the first half.
Brock Purdy's gotten to a Super Bowl.
Bro,
Justin Herbert can't even
he
sniff the
should've-
playoffs.
listen.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's
His
already got some shit
51-yard
on his
pass
resume
to
that
Brandon
other
Ayuk
quarterbacks
was-
don't
That's
have.
why I've
If
been
you
toning
think
down
about it,
on him.
his 51-yard pass to Ayuk was a fluke.
Why?
It should have been picked off.
Hey,
It hit
that's
the DB in his head.
That's the defense's
That's a
problem.
crazy ass throw to throw.
Listen, if Mason hits it off the guy's helmet and another guy catches it, you're still going to count it as a Steelers touchdown if you guys score. So at the end of the day, Brock Purdy is going to be in more meaningful games. Maybe he wouldn't be in as many meaningful games if he wasn't in San Francisco.
He would have been.
But the fact is, he's going to be here next
put
year.
him in Atlanta.
That's
You
what's
put him
making
in.
good though. Honestly, you're putting him in these high pressure situations.
Yeah, like he's
he's
building
playing
off of
deep
it.
into January. He's playing in February now. The kid's only gonna get better from this, honestly. So
I don't know.
again,
I feel as though
he's fucking Patrick
He's a guy
Mahomes?
that
No,
needs to be
but-
surrounded by a lot of talent, and then when you have to pay that talent, Brandon Ayuk already said, "I want to be paid."
Well, there's a lot of quarterbacks that are making a lot more money than Brock Purdy with a lot of talent and aren't doing shit. They can't get this far into the postseason. And Brock Purdy got to.
Well, it's because Brock Purdy has the best overall team compared to all them.
He still needs to make plays though.
He still has the
he's-
better overall
Right
team.
now in the playoffs, we're seeing that he gets shaky, which is not something that's a surprise. But at the end of the day, the cat is still making plays. So I'm going to give him credit where it's due.
No,
He didn't beat the Titans, so I have nothing against him. It doesn't hurt me to give him credit because I was anti-Purdy at the beginning of the year. I said he ain't the
I
guy.
don't really have nothing against
Like,
him, so.
At this point, in
I don't have
time,
nothing. I could care less. A lot of people beat Pittsburgh.
And all I'm
I
saying
just
is,
don't look at Brock Purdy as an upper echelon quarterback.
No,
I
he's not
think
even
he's-
upper, I'm not calling
He's
him
a
upper
mid-tier
echelon.
quarterback with suburb talent around
he's a
him.
top 15, right? Top 15.
That's why I'll never think he'll
Right,
never be
top
a top
15.
10. And the problem's going to be he's going to turn into Jimmy Garoppolo.
No, he's already winning more than
Jimmy Garoppolo went to the Super Bowl.
We don't know that. We don't know. if
Jimmy
he's gonna
Garoppolo
turn
went to
this.
NFC Championship games.
Yeah, but
What were we talking about?
But if you're
injury
going to do
history?
that, I mean,
Is
Jimmy
that what
Garoppolo had great teams put around him too.
Exactly.
Well, you can't use
He's
that same
gonna have the
narrative
same
to-
trajectory.
you're
Exactly.
using
I
that
know.
same argument
They're the
against
same
Brock
guy.
Purdy.
What I'm trying to say is they're the same
They're
guy.
not, though. They're not
Yes.
the same guy.
If
not
he
the
wins
same
a
guy.
Super Bowl, they're not the same guy. If
Brock,
Brock Purdy wins a Super Bowl, they're not the same guy.
Who
But
do you
when he
guys think is
loses
better,
Sunday,
Purdy or Garoppolo? He's gonna
They're
throw
the
2
same
interceptions
guy.
in the first
pull
half.
it out.
Listen, I'm with you. he's going to have a bad day in the Super Bowl, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he was able to get this far. Because there's a lot of guys that we had pegged to make it to this point that aren't here right now.
You're right, but at the end, he's a mid-tier quarterback with superb talent.
And he maximizes his opportunity. Like a lot of
he has
other
a guy
can.
who puts as an ultra creative mind when it comes to playmaking. I'm going to say great job, but I don't look at you like that. I'll never look at him like that.
That's fine, but he's in the Super Bowl, dog. Like, it doesn't matter.
Jimmy Garoppolo went to the Super Bowl too.
All right, like I'm saying, but what you're saying is you're using
but Garoppolo didn't look like Purdy did.
Huh?
Garoppolo didn't look like what Purdy does, man.
Like what?
Purdy
Brock Purdy didn't get thrust in there as a starter. Jimmy Garoppolo got to sit behind Tom Brady for a couple of years before he even had the opportunity to start in games. Brock Purdy got thrown to the Wolves, the last overall pick in his draft class, and is now in the Super Bowl in his second year? Come on, bro. Stop hating on the guy just because he beat
I'm not kidding.
This isn't about you guys anymore. This isn't about the Super Bowl. It's about
They're
the
same guys. With 10 years from now when we have this conversation, I'm going to look at you, show the stats again, and be like, I told you so.
Look, you're saying he's going to have a bad day in the Super Bowl. I'm agreeing with you.
I
think he's going to have a bad day.
This is his ceiling. This is his
ceiling. Super Bowl appearance? That's a pretty high ceiling, bro.
That's
a pretty high
ceiling.
Marino
went to one Super Bowl.
Garoppolo went to a Super Bowl. That was his ceiling. What he's doing now is his ceiling.
What if Brock Purdy
he will
goes back
never.
To the Super Bowl?
He will. No. I'm talking about an individual player.
Brock Purdy should have been in the Super Bowl last year. He should be in back-to-back Super Bowls.
They were not beating the Eagles that day.
Back-to-back NFC championships.
Oh,
we were here, bro. Man. We watched that game.
The Eagles fucking suck, and we all know it. The Eagles fucking suck, and we all know it, bro.
Bro, they weren't beating
them
last.
They should have been in the fucking Super Bowl last year, and I'm fucking raveled for them this year, and everybody's seeing it, and there's still people in denial.
Dude, this is where we lost it.
I'm just saying.
This is where we fell off the rails.
Brock Purdy is never going to be anything more than what he is
it's
now.
It's like that level of Donkey Kong where they're both inside the little thing and the railings are missing, and you just fall straight down. Once you started
Brock Purdy was ready to put a 325 on that Eagles defense.
You're great. Yo, before he got hurt, they were looking like shit.
So did the Eagles. The Eagles didn't play good football.
Well, the 49ers have been here for 4 years in a row now, and it was before Brock Purdy. Because this stems from their inability to close out the season. They've been to the NFC title game recently, been to the Super Bowl recently. Like, they can't close. They're not going to close, and they're not going to close this year again.
It's not going to work.
And that's more than just the Brock Purdy thing, though, bro. Because we just talked about Shanahan earlier. We talked about Shanahan and his record and what he does in these big moments.
This is Purdy's ceiling. This is it. As a player, he's not going to magically turn into Tom Brady's.
This is the worst possible. He's not going to become an elite. Go up against.
I just don't like the argument because you're telling me a guy's ceiling is a Super Bowl appearance.
That's a pretty high ceiling.
I don't see the problem.
No, I'm not. I'm talking individually. This is it. He's not going to become this 40 touchdown guy.
MVP runner-up.
7.
That's
he's not the MVP runner-up.
No, he's in
the conversation. He's been in the conversation. Yeah, he's been in the conversation
all season long.
No,
Garoppolo was never in the MVP. How many times was Garoppolo in the MVP conversation?
Never.
Okay.
Christian McCaffrey is the key cog in this offense.
That separates him, and the fact that in his second year he has gone to 2 NFC title games and 1 Super Bowl.
If I take Christian McCaffrey off this team
for years,
he's normal.
That's what makes him different.
If I take CMC off this team, this team's normal.
He's not the same player, Oscar. You're wrong.
CMC
you are wrong. It's a bad
off
take, bro.
this team.
It's a bad take.
What
the algorithm is going to call this one out.
The algorithm can call it all it wants. Without
take.
CMC, the Niners ain't going here.
Jimmy G and Brock Purdy are 2 different team players on the same team in a system that is sort of similar. But Brock Purdy, to this point in time, has done way more in 2 years than Jimmy G did to this point in time in his career. Yeah, yes, they've both been in the Super Bowl, but Jimmy G sat for a couple of years. Brock Purdy didn't have the opportunity to sit because the 49ers did not have a quarterback. They did not bother to do
because the quarterback Garoppolo broke his foot.
They busted on pick after pick
on Trey Lance.
They traded up for no reason and drafted a Trey Lance, which we know that story and how that unfolded.
Yeah, you heard about that, right?
So they accidentally
Kyle Shanahan.
What?
Him and the GM are looking at footage, and the GM goes, "What do you think about Jimmy?" And there was a minute pause, and Kyle goes, "I think our third string is our best quarterback on the team." And he was talking between Jimmy, Trey Lance, and Purdy, and this was a year ago.
They accidentally hit on this pick, bro. Yeah. I'm going to give him the credit he deserves because they're in the Super Bowl right now. and they deserve it. And we picked them to go.
I
want to
see what he's going to look
Brock
like.
Purdy's inabilities in August. Like, we knew what Brock Purdy was back then, but we still had the 49ers at
I
least.
want to see is he the same player when he doesn't have an all-pro tight end, 2 beautiful Pro Bowl wide receivers, and an all-out running back.
You want to know the beauty of that, though? Because
the best offensive line in football.
Once all that stuff, I mean, the line.
Once all that phases out, we're going to get to really see who he is.
But the thing is that he's getting a lot of experience right now in between.
You can't take that.
Bro, your basis is going to evolve better.
I think he has the opportunity.
Look at what Mahomes has done. I didn't think Mahomes was going to be shit without Tyreek Hill, and they won a Super Bowl.
No, I knew.
And then this year, I'm like,
but Pat Mahomes is just like miles and miles.
I knew
we're learning that
ahead.
He's evolving, though. He's evolving way. His metamorphosis is way more.
I didn't know who Brock Purdy was. All I'm saying is, to this point in time, for 2 years,
he's a winning Andy Dalton. He's a winning Andy Dalton.
I mean, he's way better than Andy Dalton.
He's a winning Andy Dalton.
I just give him credit, Oscar, so we can move on.
I said he's okay.
We spent way too
Listen,
much time
here, I got a way to end it. We both
way too
agree
much
to disagree on this.
That's all there really is to it. And we're gonna see him in the Super Bowl, and
he's gonna shit his pants
because this is the worst possible matchup for him in this situation.
It would have been even worse if it was Baltimore.
And for Shanahan, I feel like, because it's gonna be Shanahan versus Andy Reid. Andy Reid's gonna come into this loose. It's not his first rodeo. He's going to call the plays that work for him.
Oh, Shanahan's going to overthink it in the first quarter alone.
He's done it before. It's part of why they haven't been able to close to this point.
I don't think any AFC team they played, they were going to lose to any of those AFC teams. They would have lost to Buffalo. They would have lost, and they would have.
Honestly, I think they would have beaten Buffalo. Or
Buffalo can't close.
They wouldn't have beaten Baltimore.
The Ravens can't close, but they can beat the 49ers. Ravens can beat the Niners, but the Bills can't close. I'm done. I'm done looking on the bright side with Buffalo.
Yeah,
they're chokers, bro. We got to move on from that. We got to stop.
They're They're always gonna be in the conversation. They're always be in the mix. I think at this point with Josh Allen.
They're the Philadelphia 76ers right now. Like they're a second round exit at best. And until proven otherwise,
get out of the second round.
They can't do it, dude. They can't do it. They can't do it because they freak out, bro.
That's rough.
And the craziest part is, if Dan Campbell just goes for the 2 field goals, that last drive of the game was for the game-winning touchdown, and the 49ers ain't even here.
I feel bad for Campbell, man.
Well, I mean,
I don't blame him, man.
You can't blame the 49ers for his screw-ups.
I blame the Detroit Lions because I would have looked like a damn genius. I was going to look like the super genius on this show had Detroit just held on to their lead. I jinxed them when I posted a picture in the group chat of Simba.
And
once I post that, everything went
similar to Brock Purdy. I'll give Dan Campbell his due because he's gaining the needed experience. The Lions are going to be back in the mix next year. They're going to potentially win the North next year, and they're going to have to face a bully from the NFC. Like, the Lions are going to get back to where they were this year, and it's going to be like, now what are you going to do right from what you did wrong last year?
That's why I was just kind of like, I'm going to piggyback off that because I think they're going to find themselves in a very similar situation next year.
Xavier Tillman.
Oh, yeah, but that kid's not that good. The Lions are going to find themselves in the same exact situation, and I think they're going to play it passive instead of being aggressive, and people are going to bitch about them being passive.
They're going to punt the ball on 4th down. Yeah, they're going to go for the field goal.
Take the field goal.
Why did you take the 7 points?
It's the playoffs.
In the playoffs, you take the points, though, man.
The easiest thing in the world is to have hindsight.
Regular season, you want to do that? Go ahead and do it all day long. The playoffs, you take the for sure points.
I mean, I get
that's first 6 points right there, bro.
I get it.
That's 6 points, man. They left on the field.
I don't fault them because they've been playing so aggressive and bro, they converted on 85% of their 4th downs.
At the end of the day, they had a 24-7
analytics, baby.
That's what I look at more than anything.
What I kill them the most for, that 3rd down where they ran the ball and had to burn a timeout. Yeah, that was nonsense. It should have been passing all 4 downs because then at least you can kick the ball off and just take your timeouts and get the ball back with 48 seconds.
Or they should at least pass it on 3rd down because the problem, like they know they're going to go for it on 4th because you're running it on 3rd. You know what I mean? Like
there was no need to run. You had to blow a timeout.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a problem too. But,
In that situation, timeouts were imperative. They were.
Yeah.
Either way, I just hope
Yeah,
the Super Bowl's entertaining, but I got a feeling it's going to be ugly.
I hope it's entertaining. Just because it's close doesn't necessarily mean it's entertaining. I feel like a lot of times
30-33 Kansas City, baby. 30-33 Kansas City.
Is that your final
points.
say?
Is that is my final answer.
How many touchdowns is Pat Mahomes going to throw?
I think he throws two.
One.
Two?
I think he throws two.
I'll be back.
One of them will be Rashee
No one
Rice.
ever told me there was a section on DraftKings. Oh God, I'm going to get clowned for this. Where you can pick exact touchdowns for the quarterback instead of the over 1.5.
Oh yeah, like the alternative picks.
Yeah, I'll pick.
It's bullshit.
Heather
That's bullshit.
She put me on.
I would have never been picking.
I'd
I'd have never picking over 1.5. I'd have been picking just 1 or 2.
So what's your favorite props for the Super Bowl? Let's talk about it because it's going to be a big conversation.
Anytime touchdown Pacheco, anytime touchdown CMC, and I'm leaning towards Rasheen Rice, your boy.
Anytime.
That's my boy. He's the number one name on my list as far as anytime.
I have been getting
besides the Chiefs money line.
I have been getting froggy lately and like messing around with how like do anything like anytime touchdown defense. See how that works.
Looking to see how.
So I do think one of the defenses score. You know which one. You know,
but that's the problem. We need to be able
fumble recovery,
something like that.
Brock Purdy fumble. Casey picks it up, runs it in.
I love the pop anytime. I like Brandon Ayuk anytime this week. I like pop on the yards. Give me 70 plus.
CMC is the touchdown that pays out the least, pretty much, because everybody expects that one to happen.
Expects it.
That's in the minus.
That burns people, though.
Yeah, Rice and Travis Kelce are a plot positive. I think they're plus 135, both of them.
I win money with Rashee Rice. Like that's the
bro. I'm thinking about I'm thinking about getting froggy with 2 touchdowns, Kelce.
Travis Kelce 2 Super Bowl touchdowns.
Yeah, that'd be
for the Swifties. That'd be nuts, dude.
Swifties are gonna go crazy.
That'll be freaking nuts. I like Kelce. I do like Pacheco.
Kelsey's gonna get his. He averages 7.5 catches in the playoffs alone in his career. So.
He hadn't done shit. He didn't have a 100-yard game all season long. They all came in the playoffs. Thanks a lot, Travis. When I needed you most, where were you?
Look at the Chiefs' offense before the playoffs even started. Once the playoffs started, they looked like a totally different team. Like they started playing good. They were
ugly against the Dolphins too. That was the funnier part.
It was a terrible game that got hyped up as something like it was a terrible football game. It was cold. It was uncomfortable.
The Dolphins were missing 7 defensive starters.
Yeah, but
that's
even
crazy.
Even with those starters, Dolphins weren't winning that football game.
Nah,
because the Dolphins can't beat anybody. They can't beat anybody.
Buffalo should have been playing in Miami that week. It shouldn't have been Miami and Kansas City.
I'll tell you what. I hope this Super Bowl is better than the playoffs this year because the playoffs kind of sucked. I think that the overall playoffs were not that good.
I think you're right.
Everything that we got.
I was just gonna fight you on that, and then I thought about it. I was like,
once you look at the brackets,
it was like only 2 or 3 games that I really was like really super interested.
You had some cool moments. You had some big. You had big playoff moments. So I'm just saying overall,
there were a lot of blowouts.
Pretty underwhelming playoffs, and usually I am a bigger fan of like the divisional round and the wild card round than I am of the actual Super Bowl.
Yeah, you can break it down to decent accolades too, like the biggest disappointment.
Well, Detroit Tampa Bay was a good game.
That was good. It was a good game.
That may have been the best game of the year. Of the playoffs.
I thought the Detroit San Fran was better.
Detroit Tampa was fun. I'll give you that. Detroit Tampa was fun.
Yeah, I like Detroit San Fran better.
Says we're doing a little. We haven't mentioned it yet, but we are doing a watch along to the Golden State Warriors Philadelphia 76ers game as we give you our Super Bowl preview. Drop your Super Bowl pick in the comment section. We're in the midst of basketball season. We got a slate going on right now. Super Bowl's around the corner. A new champion is going to be crowned, and I just have a feeling.
There you go, Mike. I found that for you.
Woo!
David,
it's my boy. It's my boy, Blue.
We talk about Super Bowls. We talked about having a bit of a picture montage because I remember like first becoming. Oh, there it is. As plain as day. There it is. Isn't she beautiful? If he just throws it a little bit further down the field.
To be into it.
And that's the thing about this week in the Super Bowl, we always talk about all the what ifs and what could have happened and what could have been and what actually happened. And going back to my fandom as a kid, growing up with Steve Sable, the voice of the Super Bowl highlight videos, and coming home and putting it on ESPN and getting at least 4 or 5 of those episodes back to back to back, and just watching the story of the Super Bowl from its inception to, you know, Joe Namath making his claim that he guarantees a victory, to John Elway finally getting over the hump after going to the Super Bowl year after year and getting, like, nobody got it worse than John Elway. Like, I can only imagine if I was a bit older growing up in the 80s and seeing the Broncos at that time and watching them get that far just to get obliterated every year. Like, you say to yourself, like, these
he was
guys
probably
are
one of the
never
most
gonna
deserving,
win.
honestly, to ever win a Super Bowl. It was probably John
Yeah,
Elway.
and the finish that he had, ending with back-to-back Super Bowl championships and just walking away. And not being tempted to, like, come back. You know what I mean? Not being tempted to have that, like, Washington Wizards type of moment where it's like, you know, do I have one, or like Favre, I guess is a better reference.
Yeah.
Like, staying around for too long. Like, he kind of left you wanting more, because you always say to yourself, yo, in 2000, what would that have looked like if John Elway
just ran it back? Just
the Broncos were still a good team. Like, he walked away from a team that was loaded. Like,
Davis, they all just decided
good
to run it back.
defense. Yeah.
Shannon, right? Shannon was on that team.
Oh shit, Golden State's up 10 right now, so my Golden State plus 3.5 is looking pretty good, as well as my -4 is looking pretty good.
That's why, you know, I was gonna say that earlier, because I'm sorry, I thought it was a good bet. I was like, why would they give you plus 3?
It wasn't going to be there for long.
Yeah,
it was just based on the Sixers having a 2-possession lead, because it was a 7-point game.
Yeah,
that's why I finally get the live betting aspect. But for me, it's live betting on spreads. I still haven't dabbled in some of the other stuff like yet, because
when you're paying attention and watching,
you're just trying to catch it. You're trying to track the storm and try to make the right play at the right time.
It's definitely good shit, man.
Potentially recoup some money off any losing bets that are made. But yeah, I've been trying to get into DraftKings the last 10 minutes, dog. I'm not gonna lie. Ever since I've been mad as hell over here. We were going back and forth about Purdy, and it finally just showed up for me. So I'm about to log in and check on some of my wagers at the moment as we enter the portion of the podcast where we're all picking the Chiefs, right?
Yeah, I can't bet against Mahomes, man.
I already did it, and guess what? I don't win when I do that. So I'm ready to give Mahomes his flowers. You know what I mean? Like, I defended Brock. I'm definitely going to defend Pat Mahomes, because we're in the midst right now of seeing a team this is their dynasty. Like before we used the term, we threw it out there loosely, and I said this is too early to crown this team a dynasty. Like, Mahomes,
they win the championship. This is it.
Yeah, this is it. This is their dynasty beginning right here, man.
And guess what? Like, the path to the Super Bowl next year is probably going to go through Arrowhead. Like, if you want to get to the Super Bowl, you're probably going to have to play this team and face them. Like, they are the boogeyman on the AFC side. Like, we built up the Bills and the Ravens this year to be they're finally going to do it. They did a great job themselves of absolutely derailing everything that was built for them. And now we just got to see what the Bengals look like next year. And if they're able to get themselves back to that place to show that they are Kansas City's biggest threat on that side, you know, for the time being, until the rest of us get our shit together. Because the AFC's got a lot going on. There's a lot of moving parts. Hardball, like Oscar mentioned, is back in the fold.
That is a big part.
So what that does for Justin Herbert's development could be huge. We hope, right? You know what I mean? You've got so many moving parts as far as the head coach is going to different places. What are the Raiders going to do? Like, are the Raiders going to be a surprise team next year and go out there and win some football games?
Luke Getsy.
I think so. I think my boy AP will have those guys hitting on all cylinders next year. I just hope they figure out a way to get that offense moving a little bit more fluid. But besides that, man, I think I kind of have a lot of faith in what AP is going to try and establish over there in Las Vegas. It's going to be interesting. I hope there's not a lot of losing for them, because, again, I love Antonio Pierce. I just want to see him do good. I don't really care about the Raiders so much. I have one friend that's a Raiders fan, which is Misi. He's literally one of the most diehard Raider fans that I've ever met. So
my buddy at work, Charles, he's a
Big
Raiders fan. He hates
cool.
Kansas City. He's a true Raiders fan. He just grew up with
I seen a video about Raiders fans in
I got a Denver Broncos fan at work, and he's like, "Let's go Niners."
Really?
That's crazy for Broncos fan.
Yeah. So I seen a video where it was like Raiders fans are conflicted because there's bad blood between Raiders and San Fran, but obviously
yes, always they're always fighting when they play each other.
Yeah, but obviously they don't want to root for Kansas City, but there's Raiders fans rooting for Kansas City, like they hate San Fran that bad. It's pretty interesting, pretty funny.
It is.
That is.
I was listening to Boomer and Gio the other morning, and they had these predictions for how many people are going to be watching the Super Bowl this year. Where do you guys think the Super Bowl peaks at as far as how many viewers they get?
How many viewers? I don't know. That's a good question. How many viewers?
What do you think, O-Money? How many viewers this year for the Super Bowl? Keep in mind,
I don't know what the numbers are based off of these last. I know what was the most viewed game? It was a couple weeks ago, wasn't it?
The AFC Championship got up to 68 million viewers.
I think this is going to crack 75.
They're expecting it to be over 100 million.
Wow. And that's where it led to the whole
pay-per-view thing.
They're wild, bro.
If you guys are listening, CBS is predicting to have over 100 million viewers for the Super Bowl this year, okay? From that conversation, people started bringing up rumors saying that there is going to be potential charges, the NFL potentially charging us to watch the Super Bowl.
I'm paying for that shit.
I'm not paying for that shit.
If it's my team, I might pay.
If it's the Giants, maybe.
Because it's an event, you know.
But if I can illegally stream it and it won't give me any problems, best believe I'm going to illegally stream that shit, bro. I don't barely pay. I can't remember the last time I paid for a boxing event or a UFC event.
Let's just vocally show that.
I don't do that, man. Honestly.
But yeah, I think that's insane. And they even thought about, like, you know, how many people wouldn't pay for the Super Bowl, and they'd probably still get like 65 million people who would pay to watch the Super Bowl. And if they charge $60 a household,
a lot of times it's not even the best game of the year. You could be paying for a disappointment, just like paying for a boxing match.
Well, I do know he defended putting that game on Peacock, and they were hammering him. Goodell.
Yeah.
Goodell was getting hammered for that.
Yeah. You know how much they paid for that one game? $120 million for one game. Now, granted, they gained over 3 million subscribers, extra subscribers, which was insane.
The people complaining about it, I laugh because they spend more money at McDonald's in one trip.
Yeah, you're complaining about what to spend. Like, it's just a perspective.
One of the guys that I follow on Steelers Depot was like, well, let me pay for this. And they keep talking about, oh, we're going to have this. And they just don't know I'm going to cancel after the game. I was like, Alex, all that's on there. Like, Peacock is one of the better streaming sites out there.
Yeah, Peacock's great.
You get all the old school wrestling. You get some old school sitcoms.
See, for me, it wasn't a big deal since I've had Peacock for a couple years now. So I was just like, I just got to have my phone charged.
I thought
and I just pull it up. But I
don't care how much I spend at McDonald's.
I think it's ridiculous that they use so many different like Paramount, Peacock. They use so many different platforms to make games exclusive. Especially, I get from a fan's perspective, the playoffs, like doing that. You know what I mean? And on top of the fact that if you're somebody who has purchased the illustrious NFL ticket, you should be getting any game anytime you want, wherever, no questions asked.
If you're going to ask me to fork out $500 a year to watch any game I want, I shouldn't have to subscribe to another streaming platform to watch a game. I don't care how much I spend at McDonald's every week or Wawa every day. I don't give a fuck about
I agree with that.
That's where
our credentials for the Sunday ticket should be able to let us log into
anywhere.
It should only be for like
if there's an NFL game being played, we should watch it on the ticket. I don't care where they decide, like who bought what, where. Fuck that, bro.
Yep,
I agree with that.
Agreed. Absolutely agree. So I think that they should have used Peacock before they used some of these other streaming platforms. I get what the NFL is trying to do, but in a year where you charge people that much money for YouTube TV to be able to get the NFL ticket, you're pretty bold to ask not only for us to go to Paramount, which I never use for anything, to watch football, but
bro, I had Paramount for a little bit, and that shit's whack.
It's horrible.
Like in 2024,
it buffers all the time. Yeah. It's one of the worst.
Thank God my dad had got it because I only wanted to watch Halo on there.
Like in 2024, we're really talking about.
I have the highest. I pay for the most in Comcast internet, the highest package, where you can have like 20 devices running.
Right.
How is only one device is running? It's the television, and Paramount Plus is.
Yeah, I hate it, bro. It would do that on my phone. It would do that shit on my phone. I wouldn't even be connected to Wi-Fi.
I was pissed. I was like, I cut it. I cut it immediately.
Yeah, that's.
I didn't even finish watching Halo, and that's all I wanted.
Hopefully, the pushback that was given to them from the people was enough for them to just silence.
He's not.
It's not.
Goodell said it's going to be like that next year too. Somebody wants to buy
the pay-per-view thing.
That's not going to change.
The pay-per-view thing is just talk.
People think it's not going to happen for another 10 years.
It's talk for a reason, right?
It's
talk for a reason.
It would have to be in the next. It would have to be in the next collective bargaining agreement because now it's income you didn't have before.
Right.
They're gauging fan discussion right now, and all the outraged fans on Twitter, the same ones that are tweeting about Cody Rhodes, they're documenting all the stuff that's being said, and they are taking it under counsel so that they can have a strong argument for or against it once we enter the collective bargaining.
It's going to be hard to argue it, bro, because even if again, they're expecting.
That's Mikey's face right there, Cody's face. That's Mikey's face. That's Mikey's face when you ask him.
That's me waiting for Oscar to give Brock Purdy credit. Just say it.
All right, so Elon's face for Brock Purdy.
That's too funny.
Mikey's face for when they said you got to pay for Peacock to watch a playoff game.
Say he's top 15. Tell me he's a top 15 quarterback.
Yeah, but I was gonna say though,
that's gonna be our new meme.
If they're expecting over 100 million people to be watching this Sunday and 50 million people pay for the pay-per-view, that's over $3 billion in revenue. A lot of people aren't going to walk away from it.
Ain't nobody paying $60 to watch a football game, bro.
Bro, 50 million people will.
Bro, I'm going to spend...
There's 50 million people in this country that will do that.
I'll spend that on some food and some beer. But I'm expecting the game to be part of the...
But that's...
I agree.
If it gets to that, that's when that's when Super Bowl parties become a thing even more now.
Oh yeah,
because now it's gonna be 10 heads in there going $10 a pop, and we just paid for it.
Yeah.
And it only cost you 10.
The black box will make its way back out.
Yes,
that's what we need. The digital black box.
That's exactly what we need. Bring
In
back
a time
the black
of crisis,
box.
we need heroes.
Bring back Spice.
Yeah. Under no.
I'm from the era where every month, or not every month because we didn't have it like that, but certain months you had to choose whether you were going to get a WWF pay-per-view or a WCW pay-per-view.
Yep, my dad always chose WCW.
And based on storylines for a couple of years.
For the most part, yeah, I remember watching more WCW pay-per-views growing up.
That's the NWO angle, dog. The NWO angle had people in a chokehold,
You
bro.
couldn't tell my dad shit. He was the big Diesel, bro. Like,
you had
his friends called him Diesel.
He had the glove.
Yeah. They would all come to the house and they all do this with each other and shit.
Yeah, bro.
Big Daddy Cool Diesel.
Bro, it was a thing, and the black box was a thing at the time. Channel 99, Channel 77. So a lot of the big fights.
Chris said if they do it, they need to move the Super Bowl on Saturday.
Well, they're talking about doing that too.
That's interesting.
The Super Bowl needs to be moved to Saturday.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro. There's no reason why it shouldn't. Oh, well, you know what they're all talking about too, that why they might not move to Saturday is because adding the extra game. And if they do, that'll push the game back to next week, right? The Super Bowl will now be next week. That Monday is President's Day, so everybody be off. So now you don't have to worry about getting fucking shit-faced the Sunday, having to wake up early on Monday.
Well, I still got to work. There's no such thing as
I need Saturday. You still got to work on President's Day.
We're closed on Sundays, so make it happen on Saturday.
Make it happen.
That's why I kind of enjoyed those Steeler games late in the year on Saturday. I was like, yo, this is bomb.
Yeah, Saturday games are fun towards the end of the year. I'm used to
Well, it's just like this year. Philly's going to open up Friday, right?
Yeah. They're
In
opening
Brazil.
up on a Friday in Brazil.
What?
And
You
it's
got a
considered
game.
home game for
So the
Philly. All
opening
those
week
Phillies
of
fans who paid for
NFL
8 games, you're not going to see one this year. So,
Opening week of NFL is Thursday night, which will be the Super Bowl champion Chiefs playing that day. Right. Then Friday night, you got the Eagles opening up in Brazil. Saturday is college football.
I never even know about this. The Eagles are going to be playing in Brazil.
Yeah.
About it this week.
Sunday is then you got your Sunday night game of the year for the opening, and then Monday you have your doubleheader.
It's a lot of football. Fantasy's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
So there's going to be no games really Sunday afternoon and evening.
Yeah. We already.
And it sucks because hey, if you're an Eagles fan and you got your kid playing high school football and they're home, guess you ain't watching that Eagles game.
Ha ha, losers.
Do you guys want to do like a top 10 fantasy type of thing this year heading into like for the summertime in case we
What do you mean?
like a top 10 fan like by position type of deal?
Oh, yeah,
like,
I'm down for that.
Just a deep dive discussion as far
Yeah.
as based off of like, you know, who performed this past season and we take all that stuff into account.
Oh yeah, because the first round is going to look completely different. I think this year. I think the first round looks really different this year.
Yeah. Big time.
As far as where guys get picked.
I don't know where that's from, Magoo. He got more than 7 digits from your bitch.
8 Mile.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's okay. We got more than 7 digits from your bitch.
That's right. I forgot about that. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
I love that movie, man.
Golden State right now up
Evan is
17 on the Sixers. Of course, you know Joel Embiid is going to be
Out for a month.
reevaluated in 4 weeks, which doesn't mean he's coming back. He will be reevaluated.
I hope
in 4
Jalen gets
weeks.
hurt in Rio de Janeiro. Oh shit!
Let's go! Woo!
Yeah. Well, what can you say? The Eagles.
Yeah. Bro,
we
there's
have
talk it
talked
might be the
about them.
Steelers, bro. I don't want that.
Who?
That Pittsburgh might be the team that plays in Rio de Janeiro.
What do you mean?
Oh,
Steelers,
so you
Eagles?
guys-
Yeah, because the Steelers play the Eagles
the
next
one,
year.
The one AFC, NFC. So
That-
they don't play the
It's
North.
because, all right. So I
can't
from
do
what
that,
I've read
man. They
is
gotta
the
keep
Eagles
that.
are playing in Brazil because their contract for the home games is only for 8. Certain teams actually have a contract that's obligated to their stadium that they have to have all their home games there
Right.
with the lease. Like Pittsburgh has that lease. Pittsburgh, all of their they tried to get Pittsburgh to go play in London a couple years ago, and Art Rooney was like, "Nah." He goes, "If we're going and we're the road team, because I have a contract lease that says I have to have 8 home games a year minimum."
That's smart on the owner's part.
Yeah.
Really is.
So
Philly is done, bro. Stick a fork in them. I think so, man. I don't know how they.
how do you say AC on Portuguese?
It's
Yeah.
hilarious. Yeah, I don't know how Philly bounces back, man. It's gonna be interesting to see what kind of team they put together.
Bro, he's a cheerleader now, bro.
They're
He has no say in his offense. He has no say in his defense.
they're in that same boat right now, swimming with the Bills, where it's just like I'm not gonna overvalue them for what they are. They are what they are right now until
Yeah,
proven
but
otherwise.
McDermott's a better coach than Sirianni.
Bills are.
And they're talking about
overall-
getting rid of McDermott.
Not now. It's too late.
Nah,
Unless they're not going to be intimidated by Mike Vrabel's appearance.
bro.
Well, yeah, I guess it is too late to get rid of McDermott at this point. But Sirianni's not a good head coach. Sirianni's not a good head coach. I think that offense is in extreme turmoil.
6-11 next year. Noli coming with the fire.
Sheesh, 6-11.
I need 2 points from Brandon Miller to win $90.
Damn.
I don't want to look at my phone because I don't know if it's gonna.
He should
What
get
team
it.
does he play for?
Brandon
Charlotte.
Miller. He's on the Hornets.
And there's no LaMelo, so he should
2
get
away
that.
from the prop bet that I had him at, and I just need him to score 2 points, so I could win 90 potentially.
Oh.
Eagles
How many points do you need from him? Total?
22, 21 and a half, 22.
I don't think you're going to get that.
I know. I was.
There's
just
28 seconds left in the game.
Oh man, just foul him. Go to the line, bro. Go to the
Would
line.
be nice.
3-pointer.
I started
and a
him tonight. I
foul.
should have started him on Monday. He put up 51 fantasy points on Monday.
I started Kuminga. Kuminga's been a fantasy basketball darling, but Brandon Miller has also been a fantasy basketball darling. It's one of those pickups where you're dealing with some of these injuries heading into the All-Star break right now. And
I picked up Miller as soon as LaMelo got hurt.
Yeah,
He's been a godsend for me.
I started Cam freaking Whitmore yesterday. He got me 11 points, and he's been another guy that's been like more or less productive. But yesterday I started him. I went Rockets heavy because I started him. I started Jalen Green. I started Jabari Smith. Everybody did okay besides Whitmore. So I'm hoping that my other guys pull through so that I can continue my winning streak. Because
they've had LaMelo on day-to-day for the last 2 weeks, and he's missed the last 5 games, and it's pissing me off.
And that's the thing, like some of these guys, we know they're hurt, but we also know that the trade deadline is coming.
Oh,
and we also know that the All-Star
Here's a
break
tweet
is
for you
coming.
from 16 seconds ago.
Oh boy,
Dumbass, fat coach. You can figure out what that blank was. Got everyone but Brandon Miller taking shots in the fourth. I can't take this Evan retard coaching any longer.
Boy.
So you're not the
much
only
for
one.
that parlay. It was only $5.
Wow, that guy is upset.
I think he lost way more than $5.
He lost a lot more money than that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh, buddy, he lost it. He lost it all. You got to go home and explain that.
Yeah.
Eagles got Eagles got people that's going to be wanting new contracts. AJ wants more money. Devontae's the last year.
He can't get more money though.
They already
Goddard
gave
is
AJ
due
money.
too. Yeah,
They gave AJ money.
Yeah, they
He wants
gave
more
AJ
money?
There's no way he's going to get more money.
What do you want more money for?
He probably gets traded.
Like, what do you?
He
what
can't
do
get.
you-
They can't. He's
I don't
not.
know who's going to want to take on that
You're on
contract,
2
but
bad knees, bro, and you're getting paid the $25 million that you wanted to get
I
a year.
don't know what Philly does. I don't know how they fix this.
Philly's gonna recycle and retool like they always do every 3 or
Chelsea's
4 years.
retiring.
They-
Lane Johnson is a shell of himself. Like, what are they?
Listen,
gonna do,
maybe
bro?
Philly disappears for a year. Maybe they have the kind of year that Noli talked about, and then they find their way back.
Well, then Nick
promise.
Sirianni's going to be fired, and then everybody's going to be like, "You're a year too late."
He's got to go. We knew he had to go.
Yeah,
we
they
saw it
gotta-
for
they gotta
ourselves, and
figure
they-
this out because they paid their quarterback a lot of fucking money,
So
and they
he ain't
paid
going
that wide
anywhere.
receiver. a lot
Listen,
of
he
fucking
should have
money.
never gotten a contract extension. They should have just tagged him.
Everybody talk shit about Daniel Jones.
And that's going to be that hindsight conversation that we have when it comes to this team and what we see from them next season when it actually plays out. And they potentially, if they have, if it's an indication of what we saw, how they ended their season, if that's how they start their year next year, then we're talking about a team that could be potentially vying for the 3rd or maybe 4th spot in that division. So
Can you imagine that?
that hopefully is enough to get rid of Sirianni, right? Because by then you can realize this guy
Honestly,
is in over
he
his head.
shouldn't be there now.
He's in over his head, and
If that isn't enough to get rid of him, I don't know what is.
he has no grasp of reality or what he's doing in said position.
I never liked the guy.
They must be one of the highest paid wide receivers, especially with Evans about to get 25 to 30
Boo
million.
hoo, man. Boo hoo. He set the market. His contract set the reset the market and set it up for what's to come. So
And how does what part will T. Higgins play in the whole wide receiver market?
Major
aspect,
role.
You know what I mean?
think a major role. He is the guy to have this year. What other wide receivers coming out this year that's better than him?
But I'm saying price wise, like how does that trickle down the domino effect of the other wide receivers? How will other wide receivers try to use that as like the Christian Kirk type of incentive to go get paid themselves?
You
we
know
have
what?
Mike Evans, we have Higgins, right?
The only thing that might hurt Higgins is his numbers from last year. He was pretty much non-existent.
He was hurt. He was hurt, and his quarterback was hurt. And like the Bengals were a mess. The Bengals last year were just an utter
put up some
disaster.
decent numbers.
Yeah, but Jamar Chase wasn't always not every week. Like Jamar Chase had a couple of rough weeks, and he missed a few weeks himself. So like they just couldn't get their shit together. Like we waited all year for it, and it just never came. It never happened.
So maybe they use that to their advantage, and Higgins and his agent says, "Scrap. Don't look at last year's numbers.
Yeah.
Look at what I'm just capable of doing, and this is what I deserve," kind of thing. And I think Higgins' contract does kind of break the market, and people might want what he has, but I don't think people are going to get what he gets. I don't think Mike Evans gets $30 million a year.
No,
he's old as shit, bro. How would you give Mike? That's worse than giving. Let me not say that. I was going to say.
Also, that's what the answer was to the Super Bowl question. Will the NFL ever stream a Super Bowl solely on a non-broadcast service? Certainly not in my time, Goodell responded. But his contract
You
runs
got
through
no chance in
2027.
hell. You got no chance. Da-na-na-na-na. That's what he should have played. Come on.
Because, you
come on.
limit the amount of people you can market, though. Like, commercial-wise. That's what I think is also another reason why they probably won't do that.
Well, you know what? I don't agree with that neither because all these streaming services are putting commercials now. Prime has commercials.
No, but I'm talking
Netflix
about
is gonna put commercials.
You're not going to have NBC Peacock having commercials and then advertising Fox TV shows and advertising CBS show like on the streaming service. See, it's different broadcast television. Streaming, they don't have to do all that.
Well, I don't.
So,
which that's weird though because they're talking about like if you have Peacock, let's say they do it from Peacock, like you can pay for Peacock. You're gonna pay for Peacock monthly, but then they're gonna charge you separately for the
like ESPN does.
Or DAZN. You ever used DAZN before for boxing?
No. Yeah.
So they charge you monthly or yearly, and then when it's a big boxing event, they charge you for they charge you for the pay-per-view.
Just heard that the Knicks and Detroit are working on a trade for Alec Burke to return to the Big Apple.
You gotta be fucking kidding me, bro.
You're excited about that?
You gotta be fucking kidding me, bro. You gotta be fucking kidding me, bro.
At the eve of the trade deadline, we have some news that impacts this guy right here next to us. It impacts his beloved New York Knicks as they are looking to make the move to bring Alex Burks back to the Big Apple. You got the live reaction here. We wanted a live reaction, and we got it right in the flesh.
What does Alec Burks do, bro? Tom Thibodeau is in love with Alec Burks, and I just don't get why he loves him so much, bro. It's so insane how much
he knows the system.
Bro, he loves that kid, bro. Like it's insane. He looks at like Alec Burks like other people look at LeBron James.
And
like,
your dad said, "Bro, watch your mouth."
The guy's a great defensive player, and he like Elon just said, he knows Tibbs' system in and out.
Chris said, "Give Atlanta what they want for Murray." Shaking my head.
It's that simple, exactly, dude. Like, bro, Brunson just rolled on his ankle, and their answer is Alec Burks. Come on, man.
I feel like DeJounte Murray's on the move. I don't think I did. The thing closed out, and you saw it. You didn't get it.
No, I don't know. I'm just laughing at Oscar for asking.
Nah, I don't think he got it, unfortunately. Yeah, that's rough. I did cash out on one of my money line bets. I'm not waiting for the end of the Warriors and Sixers because it was only a difference of $1. No, I picked Golden State.
Oh.
I picked Warriors money line apart from the -5 and the plus 3.5 bet that I did.
Aren't they still up?
Yeah, but that was the last thing I needed for that money line parlay was this game, and I'm not going to finish it. I'm just going to cash out. It's only $1 difference.
So
all my other ones hit.
Yeah, I did that.
So, yeah, I'm just taking the money. You know what I mean? My Warriors plus 3.5 bet hit. What's this guy's name? Potolo? Whoever he is, he hit his number for me. So, thank you, sir. He got his number.
Man, I don't give a shit about the Sixers and their problems, all right?
Sixers are...
Knicks got problems, and I feel like they're just not addressing it right now.
The Sixers have problems. The Bucks definitely have a problem.
Oh, my God.
You got him in the figure four. Look at him.
Yeah!
It's the figure four.
Yeah!
Look at Embiid on the ground like always. So here we have Joel Embiid. It's going to be 4 weeks before he's even going to be looked at again. And then they will decide or determine what to do from there with said Joel Embiid. But right when we thought that Philadelphia was coasting, I called them the number 2 team on the East Side. This happens. And
this was the look on my face when Embiid got hurt.
Once that happens, it completely changes the trajectory of the Philadelphia 76ers. You've got the Bucks who are already mid-downward spiral right now. So what that does is open up the window of opportunity for the Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have
we're a playing team now.
One of the hottest basketball teams.
We're a playing team
side. Yeah,
it's not simple.
Yeah, you're a playing team. You're one and done without the big man.
I think the Knicks need to go out and be super aggressive today, and they need to make a play for DeJounte Murray, and I think they should make a play for Malcolm Brogdon.
Malcolm Brogdon? That's an interesting one.
Yeah, my dad was telling me about a package he heard earlier, and I kind of like told my dad it was too much, but now that I think about it, it's probably enough. It's more than suitable. It was like 2 second-round picks and Evan Fournier or some shit like that for Malcolm Brogdon. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, I think I'd do it. And I'd also send Atlanta 2-1s and Quentin Grimes for DeJounte Murray.
I really don't see us getting any major, like, huge name getting moved at the deadline this year. I think it might end up being kind of a lackluster. Maybe that last hour leading in, because you know how NBA goes live for the last hour or so of the deadline, and maybe we get something there. Most likely, I'm thinking DeJounte Murray makes a move, which could potentially be interesting depending on where he goes. Bogdanovich could be a guy that's on the move. I'm looking at a lot of these players that are kind of just randomly getting scratched out of games last couple of days, and I'm thinking to myself, like, there's more to it than just injury. Like, there's got to be some type of
that's
negotiating.
I don't know if I'm reading into it too much, but maybe I just want to.
It's just
Dallas first for Murray. Yeah,
it's just us knowing the league as long as we have in this time of year, heading into the All-Star break, where things sort of slow down a little bit, and you start to get some of the, the player movement in different directions.
Right. Largest lead entering the fourth quarter this season for Golden State is 23 points, which is what's happening right now.
Well, I think I'm going to cash out on my Warriors -5 because it's only 40 cents off of what I could win. Yeah, so thank you, Golden State, for covering the spread, both sides of the spread. Shout out to live betting.
Shout
out to the Supreme Baller Society, which I'm currently sitting at the 6th seed right now. No, not the 6th seed, 3 seed. I was sitting at the 6th seed all year. I'm the 3 seed right now. 4-game winning streak. Looking to stay where I'm at right now. If anything, move on up.
Well, because a retarded tie happened. I lose the game and I go down.
The tie that helped me.
I need to get rid of that. I need to put like a 0.1 somewhere. I don't know.
I hated the tie when me and RJ played against each other and it happened then. But who would have known that it could mean so much to me right now? At this point, at this juncture, the seeding is starting to get interesting.
I say next year we become a money league on this.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to make it happen too. I want us to.
Well, next year would be year 4 for Supreme Baller.
And there's
Society,
no excuses for anybody.
It's only right.
It's the 4th year. Like, if you still need another year to figure out how to do fantasy basketball, then get the hell out.
You know how already. You know how to do fantasy basketball.
You know how to use the app, Trey.
You've been doing it for 4 years. All right, so you know how to do it. I think that we should probably start with like a good number for the league.
Nice and low, $50.
$50 for 12. That'd be good, and then make that championship, mean a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this year the league means a little bit more because I think this is probably the most.
Derek White, I apologize for yelling at you earlier.
Everybody's involved.
I am now at 41 fantasy points with Derek White, so I apologize for yelling at him.
Good fantasy basketball.
A nice 57-point day from Donovan Mitchell.
Scotty Barnes shafted me tonight.
We got 8 minutes left in the Heat Spurs game, and Hero's already given me 36.
What's the score of that game right now? The Heat and the Spurs.
On Sleeper it says.
Is it a close one? I can't find just yet.
Miami 89, San Antonio 81.
Larry hasn't gotten moved yet. I don't think. I haven't heard about it.
Nah, he's gonna get his contract bought out. I think.
Oh.
Nobody wants to trade for him, and they think they're gonna be able to trade for him, and that.
He's got nothing.
So, yeah.
He's got nothing.
But the Sixers are going to buy his contract because that's what the Sixers do.
Yeah, he'll be with his old coach. Yeah, yep. Nick Nurse. There it is. Wow.
Nick Nurse.
That's the big playoff move.
Yep.
Yeah! Then we're going to go to Toronto, and then we're going to go to Philly.
Because we know we ain't getting Levine now with Levine being out for the year now.
Yeah, all of a sudden, there is a dark cloud casted over the Philadelphia 76ers after they had such high hopes, after I gave them
what was this talk about Butler being traded?
Jimmy Butler.
There was, I heard something about.
Because I saw it on Twitter for a little bit.
Yeah, and they brought it up on the radio. What did he say? About Butler not being happy or something like that, but I didn't really like.
Because all of a sudden,
I didn't even tell you guys in the group chat when I heard it.
Because Ike Reese was like, it's time to bring him back home because it's actually a real coach he would play for.
Nah, Butler's not going nowhere. He's so happy in Miami. Players who get locked in towns like that where there's no state tax and you're getting paid good, there's no reason to leave, man. And the team is halfway decent. Like, that's not a bad team they have in Miami. So,
they still need a big to be a championship team, though.
Wizards team total under 112.5. That bad boy just hit for me. As well as Kuminga's over on points, rebounds, and assists.
There you go.
Straight bets, baby.
There you go.
You know what I'm looking forward to this Sunday, minus the sports, is the Deadpool 3 trailer.
I am
Okay.
completely.
It will be unveiled this Sunday.
That'd be good shit.
My dad was telling me about how bad the Marvels movies was. But
really, I haven't watched it yet.
Me neither.
It was trash.
But he said the best part of the movie was the Easter egg.
At the end of the movie. Yeah. I know what happened because I knew I was gonna go watch that movie.
I don't give a shit about
because I just wanted to see it. And then when I saw what it was, I was like, oh.
It sounded pretty good.
I'm gonna sit through the bad and just.
I'll watch it.
I might put it on this weekend, but I'm not looking forward to it.
They haven't.
I'm just happy I didn't pay.
Listen, Marvel hasn't kicked out a good movie in a while, bro.
No, it's
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardian Galaxy was good, yeah. But minus
the last one, right? The last one. Yeah, that was pretty good.
To me, they got 3 great movies.
I didn't think the Eternals was that good. I didn't think Miss Marvel's.
Eternals, I never finished. I started watching that movie like 6 times, and I just
My dad said Marvel's was worse than Love and Thunder.
Oh no. Oh.
The fucking talking goats.
Yeah, that was really not.
Those talking goats threw me for a loop.
When all I heard was I'm like, what the hell?
I was like, what am I watching, bro?
Yeah, Christian Bale and it was just that movie sucked, man. That movie sucked. That was tough. Went to the theaters for that.
The best part of that movie was Thor beating up Zeus.
Yeah,
I think that was the best part of that whole movie.
I'd say that.
I thought Christian Bale
Even the Easter egg was trash. Like, who gives a shit about Hercules, dog? Like, what is?
I thought that was stupid.
Mythology, bro. This is stupid. Well, what movie are you gonna? Are you telling me that's gonna be the big bad in the next Thor movie? Because I'm sorry, but you need more than that. He needs to be working for somebody higher up. Like, he needs to be working.
That
for
whole
somebody.
Movie was trash.
Yeah, it was, bro.
Yeah. I mean, hey guys, we only got one more. The March, I think 27th is the first episode of X-Men 97. Really? So from here on out, every weekend I have off, I am going to watch the original X-Men cartoon from beginning to end.
Where can you watch
because that? X-Men 97 takes place exactly after the last episode.
Really?
Yep, it's a straight continuation.
And is that going to be on Disney Plus also?
Yep. And they're going to release it weekly. It's not going to be a whole thing dropped at once.
Bonus Easter egg. I was thinking about it today, and it just hit me. And I figured since we're talking Marvel, it's a good time to put it on tape right now and to have it recorded live in case this is how it plays out. I think that somewhere along the line, Wanda has already erased the X-Men. I feel like they haven't shown us how she's done it yet, but I feel like she has done it already, and they're going to eventually show us. And that's why we haven't seen them yet.
I heard Deadpool has a lot to do with the multiverse and the Kang movie. I heard, big rumor. John David Washington is going to be most likely recast.
Really?
As Kang.
John David Washington?
You ever see Tenet?
Don't remember that.
You ever watch Ballers?
Don't remember that either.
The Rock show, the football show?
No, I never watched that.
He was the wide receiver on the show. Great actor.
That's gonna be okay.
He's a great actor. That's Denzel Washington's son.
Yeah. But look, like when I saw his face, I think about the character. I was like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
He might be able to like kill this
Denzel's son. That is correct. Ricky Jarrett. That's his character on Ballers.
Yeah,
Ricky Jarrett.
I was just thinking
when The Rock calls him and goes, Ricky, didn't I tell you to stay the hell home? They were pissing me off, Spence.
I was kind of scared that they were gonna kind of kill Kang off too fast.
Nope.
So hopefully this gives Kang.
It's between him and somebody else. I can't remember his name, but he was a good actor too. But yeah.
Excuse me.
But I heard Deadpool. I heard in this movie Deadpool and Owen Wilson's character interact. Mobius.
Really?
That the time people are after him because at the end of Deadpool 2 when he fixed Cable's time traveling watch and he was going back.
The hell out
yeah.
No way they meshed all that together, bro.
Yeah, bro. That's what the rumor is.
Is the Deadpool movies on Disney?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta go back and watch them. I haven't watched those movies in a long time.
Yeah, when the new stuff comes out, I'm gonna be excited to.
Deadpool 1 was amazing. Deadpool 2 is just as good. It's just it's a sequel, but Deadpool 3 is looking like it's gonna be like rich. Especially with Hugh Jackman rocking the entire costume.
Yeah, I'm excited.
The entire and somebody zoomed in on his gloves, and it has the metal, like the 3 metal spring where the blades come out.
That's dope. That's too dope. Yeah, I can't wait, man. I'm excited for that.
And if you guys got Peacock, watch Ted.
The show, like the series.
I promise
I heard good things about Ted.
you'll love it. I promise you.
I definitely hear.
He takes it really far though in episode 8, like the last episode of the season. Like, bro, he goes to a whole new level in that one, where I was like, oh shit. But yeah, there's some good shit coming out nostalgia wise. Some real good shit coming out.
Well, hopefully MCU kind of kicks it into gear because we've been waiting for.
Well, the guy announced today too that they're going to stop all that production, all these Marvel related projects, and only focus on established brands from here on out.
Oof, what does that mean for the unestablished brands? Ooh, you better get in where you fit in now. Get your ass on that.
I personally, I would never have made a Marvels movie. I would never have made an Eternals movie. I would have never made a Shang-Chi movie. Those should have been.
Shang-Chi was good shit.
Those should have been.
Shang-Chi's fight scene on the bus was voted the best MCU fight scene. I don't know if you guys know
insane.
That.
I mean, yeah.
Because the Civil War fight scene was crazy.
Which one? Iron Man
and the airport dock. At the airport dock.
Yeah, that
fight. Listen, that movie had mad fights. The airport scene where they're trying to escape and Spider-Man's there and all that.
How? So your best friend killed his parents. And you're kicking his ass. And he's mad about the shit that you're.
We just had a discussion about this at work the other day.
And Captain America started chipping his ass up, bro, when it came down to like a one-on-one. Like once he had him in that spot and he just started teeing off on him, all you saw was his inner Alexa telling him, like, you gotta get out of here.
My dad gave you that shield.
Yeah, that was his last. That belonged to my father. Captain America almost killed him, bro. That movie was about to be over. Long before Thanos, bro. Captain America had him. Even with Bucky had Captain America. He was about to kill him. He kept punching him with the Iron Fist. I was like, yo, this dude's lumped up. He's about to end the old man, bro.
Listen, there's some of those movies that should have been just straight shows.
I mean, the straight shows they're putting out right now are kind of trash besides Loki.
She-Hulk.
I didn't even bother to watch Echo. I heard Echo's bad.
I heard Echo was bad.
Honestly, I'm not going to say it was bad because I thought it was pretty
I'm decent. Over here. I'm trying to catch up on Daredevil 3. Finally watched season 3 after all these years because Daredevil Born Again, when it comes out next year, takes place with that continuity. They rewrote the whole script on that.
Damn, for real?
Bro, he wasn't going to be Deadpool until like the 5th episode. When Kevin Feige saw that, he goes, what the hell are you guys doing?
A little bit of nostalgia mania to cap off an eventful podcast here tonight. We talked about the Super Bowl, especially Brock Purdy.
30-33 Kansas City, baby.
As of right now, I'm saying that Pat Mahomes wins another Super Bowl MVP. Chiefs money line with Rashee Rice.
I want the hometown kid to win the Super Bowl MVP.
Maybe Drew will show up to the parade if the Chiefs win another Super Bowl. Maybe not. Supreme Baller Society, we're getting down to the wire and setting ourselves up for the playoff picture.
What's your final score?
The top 8. My final score for this year's Super Bowl is going to be Chiefs 27, 49ers 17.
27. I'm not sure. And what are you, the Niners?
Niners 17. I'm not sure what the over-under is on that. I know that it's Chiefs +2 right now, so I think I'm going to go ahead and take the spread and the money line on this. I feel really good about it. Parlay it up with the Rashee Rice anytime touchdown, and have yourself a day. At some point or another, we'll probably be going live for the
Chris says
Super
Chiefs
Bowl.
27.
Looking forward to it. I have a nice long weekend this weekend. I'm off Saturday, off Monday, off Super Bowl Sunday, of course. So the beer will be flowing. Only 2 basketball games on, so it might be an off day for me as far as the sports betting goes on Super Bowl Sunday. Might just do a little parlay for football and just take it easy. Because not for nothing, basketball betting is a lot of work. Like going and looking up all this shit every day to make the bets is
follow the guys.
Hours. It's a few hours.
Some of the stuff he's giving me is grab the Hawaiian rolls.
Get the Hawaiian rolls ready because it's going down on Sunday. Heather already said she's making some buffalo chicken dip.
Oh, nice.
So it's definitely going down. We'll be here at Casa de Money watching what happens. Hopefully a decent football game. Their favorite, as far as the odds go for the Gatorade, is orange as of right now. It's at like plus 250. The Gatorade that is going to be spilled over.
That's so stupid.
It's a real bet, and it generates a lot of money.
It really does. It really does.
So, I mean, we've got the Chiefs across the board here tonight on this podcast. We are heading into the All-Star break. Maybe we'll do something a little bit fun next week
let's
for
go.
the All-Star break. Talk about favorite All-Stars.
No, I just need Devin
team.
Booker to give me something
Think
good.
of something.
Jalen Brunson is the best free agent signing the Knicks have ever had in my fat life.
And
honestly, he might be the best free agent signing ever for the Knicks. Straight up, bro. I mean, when you really think about it, he might be the best free agent signing we've ever had.
What the hell? Is that what you were waiting?
Yeah,
you were
that's how I wanted to end.
Yeah. You were waiting to drop that bomb on us. Waiting to the end.
Jalen Brunson will be the next jersey that I purchase for myself. That would be the next jersey.
He's definitely been balling. He's fun to watch. Credit to him. I mean, like, it's crazy that Dallas did that.
Yeah, it's crazy that Dallas let him walk, and it's crazy that we got him for the price that we did. And I say that now because when it happened, me and my father spoke about it, and I was like, Dad, we paid too much for this kid. I don't know anything about him. He had this little magical run in the playoffs, and now he's a Cinderella. Like, what the hell is this?
Mikey's initial instinct is to panic on any major signings that his team does.
It's really for the Knicks. No, it's more or less for the Knicks, man. I mean,
you checked out on the Yankees a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, the Yankees pissed me off. The Yankees pissed me off.
You're not excited about Juan Soto? I'm in my gear today.
World Series or nothing. I don't give a shit about
Juan Soto. That's every year for us, bro. That's every year's World Series.
Bro, we haven't been there. We haven't even sniffed it since 2009, bro.
We sniffed it in 2017 and got cheated.
That was a facade. That was a facade.
Bro.
And Houston made it so.
Bro, I didn't know that these people had recycling bins stationed at every
They still won a World Series after that.
They did win one after. They cheated for the first one.
And they went back to another one the following year.
They cheated for that one, though. That's on the record. They redeemed
and
themselves.
The Patriots were stealing signs in the early 2000s. Nobody made a big
Patriots
deal.
Did go back, and they did win. And they won the most boring Super Bowl of all time against the Rams.
18-1, best record in
football. See, imagine paying a pay-per-view Super Bowl and you get a Super Bowl like the Patriots versus the Rams.
Oh.
Yeah, no,
13-3.
If you pay for that, that's when you know shit's gonna get fixed because they're not gonna allow people to pay for shit and it be.
That's the type of football game where you bust out the dominoes and the cards on. That's how bad that game is. Like you start doing other shit.
I started to fall asleep.
You start enjoying the Super Bowl.
I was at Nick's house.
That's right.
I was at Nick's house going like this.
Brunson's jersey's been sold out for months, bro.
Growing up, I've seen a lot more bad Super Bowls than good ones. I remember the good ones. They stand out to me, but I've seen a lot more terrible ones. Like, that's what happens. Sometimes
the last good Super Bowl I've seen, last year's was good. The Eagles-Patriots game was crazy because I was just going back and forth,
That was a fun game. That was an entertaining game. That was a shootout.
I didn't even watch it.
Was crazy.
I didn't want to watch the Super Bowl that the Eagles were participating in, and then having the potential of watching them win. I didn't.
One of my final great memories at Bennigan's, which no longer exists. I was at Bennigan's with my friend, my buddy John, that I grew up with. Him and I were at Bennigan's watching the Super Bowl with a bunch of Eagles fans. We got so wasted that night. It was absolutely insane. And the cool thing is, like, Bennigan's would always have like this sort of little small buffet set up on the side for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And there was only maybe 15 to 20 people in there. But like the 15 to 20 of us, it made you feel like there was 50 in there. Because we were so drunk, bro. The Henny was flowing that night. I remember that. I was doing shots of Henny for Nick Foles and them.
Fuck them.
That was wild.
Hey, they beat the
That was
Patriots.
wild.
I was happy about that.
Fuck them. That was the first and only time I've ever rooted for the Patriots.
Yeah, next week on this podcast, we'll be closer to the All-Star break. We'll have more updates as far as who actually gets moved before the trade deadline in the NBA. Maybe more coaching news across the board. We will find out who the world champion is going to be. And we slowly but surely head into, pitchers and catchers showing up for spring training and get geared up for another baseball season. So a lot to cover. Tonight there was a lot to cover because it's a very interesting bookmark portion or point of the sports season, the sports year, where you have the Super Bowl coming and you have the NBA trade deadline going down. So teams are going to make moves.
Please,
now.
New York. Please, New York.
The real season starts, I guess, for the NBA. I guess you could say. Alec Burks is in the house for the New York Knicks. And Mikey can't contain his excitement for it. He completely checked out for the podcast.
LeBron James?
He's been thinking about the Knicks ever
since. I hate LeBron James, and he better not. I don't want LeBron James nowhere near my team.
Yeah, I mean, thank you to those of you who tuned in. I definitely agree with that statement as far as the Astros go.
Rashid Rice listed on the injury report.
Oh, boy. That's my anytime touchdown. Don't like the sound of that. Shout out to Magoo for being tuned in with us and hitting us with the comments. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to the gang. Shout out to Eric. I'm trying to beat you this week, buddy. I'm trying to keep my winning streak intact. I'm trying to remain the hottest team in Supreme Ballers.
Here's
right
a bet from that guy that I showed you. He gave out these options for people to parlay. This dude parlayed one of the three-leg. Mitchell to have over 5 assists. Brandon Miller to score 20+.
He didn't.
He got 20.
He got 20. Yeah,
well, this one had over 19.5.
Oh, yeah. So
I should have lowered it by 1. That's
and Jimmy Butler to make over half, 0.53. The guy did that. He wagered 50, won $139.
That's good shit. Yeah. My favorite play today was the Mitchell didn't even hit his assist, by the way.
Andrew Ryan Bermuda signed the hat.
He only got 5 assists. My favorite play was Donovan Mitchell, 26.5 points tonight, and he hit that. I bet that by itself, and then I parlayed that with the Brandon Miller one that I just missed out on. So at least I got something out of the Donovan Mitchell one. But it's like the Brandon Miller hype was all the research I did today. Everybody was saying Brandon Miller, he's going to have a big night.
Yeah, he just had a big night on Monday.
Yeah, so I kind of fell into that hype. I added him to that parlay. I should have just thrown something else. Maybe I should have put Kuminga in that parlay because Kuminga's hitting his numbers. Bam Adebayo just hit his number for me on a straight-up bet that I did on points and assists over 21.5. Now I'm just waiting for some of these money lines. I just did another bet where I bet the spreads. I've got Detroit plus 13.5, and I've also got the Clippers -5 in the late West Coast slate that's going to be going down for NBA tonight. They got the games portioned out pretty well. So we're going to get 2 West Coast late games starting at 10:10. A lot of the other games are wrapping up right now. The Sixers are getting the break speed off of them. So that's something they're going to have to get used to seeing for the next couple of weeks until they figure things out. It's going to be an interesting conversation because, like Oscar said, this takes them from that top realm of the East to that play-in realm.
Yep.
Where you're sitting with
unless they can
the
get
Hawks of the world and shit
unless
like
they
that.
can get something cooking.
And I believe that the first 2 teams that I think can capitalize off of this are your Knicks and the Cavs because we see that the Bucks are ever since the Bucks did that stupid little dance in a circle where they got their coach fired, they've won like 1 game since then. So
and then Giannis walked out early the other day.
That was insane.
He's walking out of basketball games.
That was insane. When
all is not well.
He's literally turned into a diva.
He's turned into a diva, yes.
He's literally turned into a villain, bro. I feel like that's the type of guy now, like he doesn't want like certain people looking at him when he walks in, or he got to rent out a whole restaurant.
Don't talk to me an hour before the game. I need to just I need to sit here.
What,
I need to sit here in my thoughts.
Take your ass back to Greece with all that shit.
With my brother.
Yep.
Yeah, he's definitely turning heel on people. And I called that a long time ago. I said it was gonna happen. I usually call heel turns.
I just thought he was gonna be more humble. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he was humble at one point.
You know, he was.
That shit is. He's running roughshod. He got a coach fired. That their team was 34-13, and the coach got fired.
Bro, they were talking about making that coach the coach for
Imagine what New York would look
All-Stars.
like if Marvel
Doc
movies
Rivers.
were real. That's what Nick put down.
Yeah, and Doc Rivers is going to be coaching the Eastern Conference for the All-Star game, which is a total joke.
That's such disrespect, bro.
You have
Such disrespect. Bro.
you have the head coach from Boston, who's out there, right?
Well, they said he can't do it because he did it last year, so apparently you can't do back-to-back years.
Nick Nurse can't do it. The Sixers look pretty good. The Cavs coach.
Yeah,
The Cavs coach would have been a great one.
Bro,
like,
they're
when you look at
15-1
what he's
in the
doing,
last
like,
16 games. Like,
Cavs are the hottest team in basketball, and I don't think anybody realizes it. Those of us who have been betting on basketball every day, like myself, and watching all the games, like Cavs have been covering. They've been hitting their numbers. They play good defense. They've been playing all around really good basketball. They're kind of similar to the Knicks, like in that I think that their defense is slightly better, but like as far as how they win games and how they beat the teams that they should beat, they do a good job.
Yes, they do.
So, as far as this podcast, I feel like we've done a good job here tonight of covering everything that we needed to cover.
Good show.
Covered all our bases. It was good to have you back in the mix.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Got to
on
have that
always.
more often. We need you for the basketball and the baseball that's coming our way. Supreme Ballers Society is heating up right now. And you more than likely are going to be getting some bonus footage this weekend because the three of us are actually going to be together for the Super Bowl. And so we'll be getting a little bit of live reactions, maybe a little breakdown, depending on how early I can get here. Beers are going to be flowing. Can't wait. Good food, good people, and a chance to celebrate one last time a very entertaining NFL season as we head into life after football. But don't you worry, we got you covered with everything that you need to know.
Terrell's winning again. What the hell?
Oscar is tapped in the Supreme Ballers right now. Getting a little nervous right now.
Bro, I'm going to have 12 wins. This guy's going to have 12 wins, but because he has a stupid-ass tie, he's in first place.
You want first place real bad, huh? There's no bye weeks for first place. You got to play week one. You got to play the 8th seed in the first round, and you guys got to deliver. Until then, folks, I'm Irrational. That's Mike D. That's So Money. This has been another episode of On the Money Podcast. Shout out to you guys for tuning in. Stay groovy.